Now, in for a treat. How many of you sort of think sales is a little bit difficult? Who thinks sales is hit and miss? Today we're really lucky because we're moving into that part of the back to a cycle of the iLab, where it's about how do we get stuff out the door, how do we make connections with people, and how do we do it in a way that's not only effective but builds relationships and is scientific. I like that. There's a science to sales. Patrick Woodcraft, who is presenting to us today, and Pat talks about transformational sales, sales that transform the process of selling and also transform people's lives. Today, you're up for a whole new experience of energy and sales. So please welcome Patrick Woodcraft. Hey, hiya, Pat.
Thank you.
Over to you.
Thank you. Wise gentleman once said to me, he said, Pat, once you spend all your money, you can keep making more, but once you've spent your time, it's gone for... You've heard this guy too, right? In the future. So who wants to sleep while I talk? No? Who wants to actually take something away that's valuable? And all right, so let's do that. Yes! That's more fun for me too. Two things for the presentation. Would it be okay today, I'll start with the second one first, if we had some... Would that be okay? Yeah! All right. So that's a given for me. If it's not fun, we're doing something wrong, there's a problem, we've got to fix it. And the other thing is that you've already said you're okay with doing some learning. So we're okay with that, so you can actually take some value away. That's my promise, that's my commitment. What I love, it's totally true that they say sales is the highest paid easy job in the world. Or it's the lowest paid difficult job in the world. All right? And depending on how good you are at it and what's going on around that as to what your experience is going to be, and if we can kind of have both. So I want to talk about why we talk about transformational sales, not as opposed to transactional sales. And I think that's probably the first one to clear up if we get that done right up front. Because this old model of transactional sales is where you find a prospect and then you talk to them about your stuff and then you close the sale and you handle objections and you've heard all this kind of stuff, right? Yes? So as transformational sales, for me, what that's really about is that I'm wanting the person I'm speaking to, if I had an agenda or an objective for them, it would be for them to make a transformational decision. Because every personal transformation starts with a decision, right? So if I can facilitate or help them or support them to make a decision to change an area of their life, then that's my objective. And if that's all that comes of our conversation, then that's fine. Now, very often, if they make that decision to transform an area of their life, then, as Tony Robbins says, never leave the scene of a decision without taking some action towards its attainment. So my hope would be that they would take some action based on the decision they've made, and that action might be to buy my stuff. Right? The decision is never to buy my stuff. I'm never trying to push people for a decision to buy whatever it is I'm selling. Right? And you see that the transactional sales model is, do you want to buy this? Yes or no, make a decision. Right? And I'm like, not about that at all. I'm about, do you want to change this area of your life? Make a decision, yes or no. Because if you want to change that area of your life and your health or your relationships or your business, whatever it is, then absolutely make that decision, and then I'll work with you to plan out the steps of how you're going to do that. And one of the action steps might be to buy what I'm selling. And it might not be too. You see the distinction there? Transformational sales, transactional sales.